What's up, guys? I am back with another update on the Witcher 4 situation, which is not necessarily the same as the previous video, where I was covering on whether or not CDPR had gone woke. Instead, I'm going to be talking on something that I did not really expect to be talking about anytime soon, at least not now, because it seems that the executive producer has just revealed that Ciri's power is going to be drastically reduced for the game. And I think they're referring to the fact that they're going to nerf her power as a source. And to be specific, they're saying that The Witcher 4 executive producer Margozata Mitrega, I really can't pronounce that name still, I am so sorry, says that Ciri's power has been drastically reduced between the ending of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and The Witcher 4. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm referring to the interview with Games Radar, where Mitrega shared, and I quote, "The gap between her being totally overpowered at the end of the previous game and now, with the skill set we showed off in the trailer, something totally happened in between." She proceeded to elaborate further, where she said, "We had to delve deep to consider how we would address this. We have huge respect for the lore, for both the books and for what made it into our previous games, but this was one of the first questions we found the answers for, and it's how we were able to create this original story, which starts with The Witcher 4. Now, I get that they're saying that something happened in between The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and The Witcher 4, which may be the reason why her power has been reduced, because I know for a fact that by the end of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Ciri was actually a lot more powerful than what we saw in the trailer, at least from my perspective. And it also seems that John F. Trent felt the same way, because in his article, he wrote that while her power has been reduced, the fact that she is a source grants her greater magical abilities that she will be able to use in her profession as a monster hunter, aka as a witcher. He also went on to write, referencing the newly released trailer that shows Ciri's battle against a Bok, which is the monster that she faced off against in the announcement trailer, where she casts multiple spells, including a lightning attack as well as enhancing a chain whip with fire. Mitrega explained, and I quote, "What you've seen here is a tease, but it's there for a reason. You can see the sword, you can see the chain, and you can see her using magic too, and how she's using them all against the boosted monsters she encounters. It's there to show you what our ambition is with Witcher 4. Now, I'm assuming they're saying that they nerfed her power because they wanted us to actually be able to experience what it means to be a Witcher, going through challenges and trials, and not have Ciri be overpowered and just have a cakewalk while absolutely destroying everything that crosses her path. Which I can respect, but it still doesn't really answer my question as to what nerfed her. You said why you nerfed her, but you haven't necessarily told us what nerfed her. For some reason, she also noted that Ciri is faster, more agile, which I don't really think matters because these are monsters that move faster than the average movement. She proceeded to also say, but you can still tell that she was raised by Geralt, right? Well, I guess. And the trailer shows Ciri wearing a lynx medallion rather than the wolf that Geralt wears, indicating she likely received further Witcher training and underwent the trials of grasses from someone other than Geralt. While I did notice that she was not wearing a wolf necklace and instead a lynx, it was not necessarily easy to tell because it took a lot of observing to tell that it was not the same necklace that she wore in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. But at the same time, this still does not answer my question. What nerfed her? You said that you nerfed her because you want us to enjoy the experience. That's okay, but at the very least, you have to tell us what nerfed her. You've only given hints that it happened between Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and The Witcher 4, and you've also given hint that she underwent more training under someone other than Geralt, hence the Lynx necklace. Which means they're probably trying to say that she got nerfed training under this person. But then again, the question still remains, what nerfed her? And the game director Sebastian Kalamba was also asked about Ciri's abilities for the game while speaking with Eurogamer in his own interview, and he said, and I quote, "One interesting part offering Ciri here is that there's now maybe some concern or more like speculation that you might need to kind of nerf her in some way, right? That she has to go back to power level 1 at the beginning of an RPG. Now, this is moderately true because as we've seen from most series, both in anime and in games, if a character originally was extremely powerful, you have to find a way to bring them down to a lower level for the player to actually experience what it means to grow, which is more of the most basics of an RPG. A prime example of this would be God of War. After Kratos had defeated Ares and ascended the throne as the new God of War, he was struck down by Zeus and lost most of his powers, and more or less had to regain it in his quest for revenge against Zeus and the other Olympian gods. And one of the questions that was raised during all this was, how are they going to handle Ciri in terms of bringing her down to power level 1, because at the end of Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, she was probably one of the most powerful people. How are the people and the team at CDPR going to handle this? And Calamber chose to respond with, no, we cannot tell you exactly how, but we can tell you that this is the problem that we have been trying to solve. And honestly, from that response, I can just tell that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how they're going to fix this. They're probably just going to give some cliched, vague reason that does not answer anybody's question and probably leaves us with more questions than answers. And that does not sit right with me. But hey, let's see what happens. It seems that in another interview with the Skill Up YouTube channel, Kalamba gave a better answer, or a similar one that was better than the one he gave before, which was, I cannot tell you precisely how we are going to make it yet for sure, but definitely, we starting Witcher 4 a few years after Wild Hunt will refer to Wild Hunt ending. So definitely players with sentiment will spot details here and there, even really nuanced dialogue pieces, sometimes here and there, referring to the past. Now I think what Kalamba is trying to say here is that even though he himself cannot tell you exactly how they're going to address nerfing her and making her lose most of her powers to bring her down to character level 1, essentially, for the RPG to actually flow properly, he is saying that there will be answers to that during the game's story, where players who were more versed in the lore would be able to notice it, essentially. And I guess that's a good thing, but at the same time, what about newcomers? If there's someone who started the Witcher series but isn't really that well versed in the lore, how are they going to spot these nuances and slight differences and references from the past? Now, frankly speaking, I understand where the people at CDPR are coming from, because they're trying not to spoil things for us while also trying to give us some form of assurance that the game is going to come out well. And I sincerely want to believe in them, because these guys have always gone above and beyond in their games, and I want to believe that they still plan to do that and are not going to let the woke DEI initiatives affect the game. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Projekt Red is going to continue to be a good game company that has always gone above and beyond to deliver proper quality games to us? Or are they going to crack under pressure and just become another company that has fallen to the woke affliction? And as always, if you enjoy my coverage, be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment about what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Minecraft Villager, signing off.